I'm going to mention some very important points when diagnosing this part or component, which is quite important. So, first of all, it's important to mention that with the steering system and the rack and pinion specifically, there's a lot of the problem of half-done repairs. And what do I mean by half-done repairs? That many times when the rack and pinion fails, when it's already at the end of its useful life and is causing problems, many times you want to repair an entire system by changing only the external steering terminals. Many times what happens is that a vehicle has problems such as pulling to one side or has a loose steering wheel or the steering wheel vibrates at high speeds. And many times what you want is to fix it by just changing the external steering terminals. Many times that's how they fix them. They just change the steering terminals and supposedly it's ready. The problem is that when they take it to be aligned, they either don't align it or after they align it quickly, it goes out of alignment again. That happens because the inner steering knuckles and the rack and pinion are not checked. Many times, even if we change the inner and outer steering knuckles, if the rack and pinion is already loose, is no longer solid, the same problems of the steering wheel shaking and going out of alignment will continue to occur. That's why in many cars it's difficult to align them and get them back in alignment again. And even if they are, they go out of alignment again because the main component no longer works as it should. It's already at the end of its useful life and has to be changed. If we want the car to be solid, with that stable feeling when driving, many times it's inevitable that we have to change the rack and pinion. Another important point to mention is the inner steering knuckles. We are very used to changing the outer tie rod ends, which are the ones that get damaged the most. Usually, the problem is only in these ends. But in the case of the inner tie rod ends, they are usually not as easy to change as the outer ones. In the case of these inner tie rod ends, we often need a special tool. Since there is not always enough space to insert a large wrench and turn it, we have to insert a special tool here to be able to loosen it and change the tie rod end. These tie rod ends have to be purchased as parts, they have to be replaced. Usually, a new boot or dust cover has to be installed, as well as the clamps that come with it. Many times the kit with which we bought the part already includes the boot or dust cover, it includes the clamps. Other times, it does not include it, and we have to get a dust cover, or reuse the one we have if it still works. Although, many times, when removing it from here it gets damaged, or it cannot be removed without damaging it. Sometimes, that happens, and if the kit for the part we are going to change doesn't include it, we have to get both the boot and the clamps. I am one of those who uses this type of clamp and I can't find the original clamps. There are many who use plastic straps like these or thicker ones to secure the dust covers. I prefer the metal ones, but if there are no more, these are often used. And we also have to get the grease that comes here, the special grease for the steering end. As I mentioned, sometimes it is included in the kit itself. And if not, what I use is grease for the bearing and I put it here. Red grease or black grease, so that is another point to take into account for the internal steering ends. And that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching the video. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it or found it useful. That helps me a lot. And that's all for now. Thank you very much and see you next time.